Hello, this is Our Money Chats. You can reach us at Our Money Chats on Twitter. You can also email us, ourmoneychats@gmail.com. Today's topic is coming from a very different place. Again, we are talking about relationships and money and how does one affect the other. But that's what we've been talking about recently. But I want to go off on a little tangent here about, relationships and marriage. And how, not really how that touches money, but just in general. And I'm sorry, there is a plane flying over. I don't even live near an airport anymore, but for whatever reason, at this very moment, a plane has decided to visit us during this video. And I don't feel like turning the camera off and stopping it and all this stuff. Let's just wait for it to pass. This is crazy. Okay. Between the planes and the birds chirping, we're just going to have to go through with this some kind of way. All right, men not getting married and how that affects our wallet. Okay, my personal experience with that has been, of course, as you know, if you follow this video series, I've never had a boyfriend that I feel like was a legitimate boyfriend. I had a very close friend that I was with for 5 years. I've talked to guys for long periods of time. I have been in a lot of long distance friendships where we text each other a lot, and none of this has ever come to anything, and I don't really have any answers. I don't know why. I remember years ago, when it comes to money, I did contribute to the friendship that I was in. I did try to buy groceries. I did try to be there whenever possible, but I was just coming out of college and I had about, I'd say $90,000 worth of student loan debt at the time. And yes, it was $90,000. It was just like I got a lot of degrees while I was in college. So, and the dorm fees, etc. So everything was expensive and I was trying to pay that off. So I really couldn't bring a lot to the table. I had no intentions of really trying to get into a relationship. When I moved to the city where my job was, some people had told me previous, people from my country that who had just moved to the city, and they were trying to help me out. And they're like, you know what, we're going to get you married. That's very important. You need to get married. You're single. You're beautiful. You need to get married. I was like, wow. And I don't know why I thought this was going to happen, but I moved to the city and lost contact with every single one of those people, never saw them again. And I did end up with the friend that I was with. Of course, he was an alcoholic, so I had to leave after 5 years, but I tried. I hung in there, guys, and I put what little money I had toward that friendship. I tried to contribute. I tried to be, helpful, but I had to leave because of the alcoholism. Now, how did that affect my wallet? One thing I will say, it was great being able to stay over at the person's house at times because, we shared groceries. It's just the sharing factor is great when that person's when you're literally sharing things with someone, it really helps you. And I think when, after the 5 years was up, and I remember the very next day after I literally decided to stop answering the telephone, one of my bosses came to me and told me that I was getting a raise. And they had really worked hard to make sure this happened because they knew that I needed it. I had not had a raise in 5 years. So they got the raise for me, and that really helped cover a lot of things for a little while, but cost of living rose, and eventually I was right back where I started, and I still hadn't paid off all the debt. I think I was I had to pay $50,000 more on it. So not having someone to share with made life hell, and it was very hard. So for the reasons of sharing and having a best friend, I think it's really important. I really have come to understand that for financial reasons, it's really great to have that best friend that you are committed to, because you both love each other enough to stay together, you share, and it's working for you. But it needs to be a very healthy person. So I hope that helps. I can't make the video too long because it takes a very long time to upload, and sometimes they won't upload if it's more than 5 minutes. So I'm going to end there. We'll come back in a second video about men in marriage and how that affects your money. And I hope this has been helpful to somebody. Just the point is, sharing is caring. Sharing does help. And if you're concerned about getting married and thinking it's not a good idea, just make sure you're with someone who wants to share and it's someone that you really, really care about, because it does make a difference on your wallet. It does allow you to actually put aside money for yourselves to save. So as long as you're making enough and you plan carefully, you should be able to save money when you are in a committed relationship. Do not be afraid of it. It's a good thing. It's your friend. You're going to be hanging out together anyway. So make it work. This has been an episode of Our Money Chats. You can reach us on Twitter at Our Money Chats. You can email us at ourmoneychats@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.